we have in common: a pathological hatred for Nigeria. I cannot begin to put into words how much I hate Nigeria. People don't understand it. I despise it. With every drop of blood in my body, I will walk towards the total dismemberment of that zoo. That by the time we finish, Nigeria will no longer exist. That name, we wave goodbye to it. The same way Yugoslavia is gone, that Soviet Union is gone, that same way will the word Nigeria be obliterated from history books. Nigeria is a reminder that black people are stupid and foolish. Nigeria is a reminder that colonial mentality actually seeped into our bone marrows. As somebody reminded us this morning, when somebody from Nigeria pays and say, "Oh, God bless Nigeria," you are making a mockery of God. God can only bless something that is created. I learned that this morning. God did not create the zoo. Therefore, there is no way God can bless it. It's impossible. Impossible. That hopeless entity that people today say they are very proud to belong to was created by a white man. His name is Frederick Lugard. This man is not from Biafra land. This man is not Hausa Fulani. This man is not Yoruba. But there are some people from black Africa who are willing to go to war to defend what a white man created out of their own subjugation. The reason why the zoo was created was to subjugate you. You did not create it. A white man did. You asked the white man to go. The white man left and went back. But you retained every vestige of subjugation left in the hands of the tyrannical few. Those who can read and write, claiming they are PhD holders, but lack rudimentary, or what I would call common sense. They don't understand how to structure a society. Our forefathers were better political thinkers and philosophers more than the fools that gave us the zoo called Nigeria. They couldn't have come up with never in their lives. Instead, what they did was to surround themselves with the military and the police. Instead, what they did is to ensure the subjugation of their own people by bringing money abroad and banking it abroad. And people are wallowing in abject poverty. There are many things wrong with the way that a black person reasons that sometimes I wonder. I wonder if some of them are human beings at all or not. I wonder seriously. I don't think so, in my opinion. There is no need, there is no reason why they got independence from a country where the police do not carry guns on the street. Upon becoming independent, this band of vandals and animals created a police force. A police should be a civil service, not a force. It's civilian. They created a police force. They created mobile police, the riot police. They created the army. They created the navy. They created everything you can think about, the Air Force. They created all this rubbish in order to perpetuate themselves in power, in order to continue lying to you, in order for them to master everything that is to do with violence, to kill you and to subjugate you. The white man came, turned us into slaves, subjugated us, took away all our natural resources, and when they were going, they gave power over to a set of black people again, continuing even worse subjugation of their own people. And you're telling me these people are human beings? Is that what you're telling me? That somehow black people in Africa are normal people? Yes, is that what you want me to believe that? If they are normal, they have to prove it. The only way for you to prove that you're not a monkey is by going and getting Biafra. If Biafra doesn't come, you are an animal. Biafra is the only justification you have to exist as a human being. Anybody saying that they are, he or she is a Nigerian, that person is worse than a fool. A journalist asked me this morning here, why do you call them animals? I said, because they accepted a name given to them by somebody else. Only a dog and a cat can do that. A white man came from Scotland, said your name is Nigeria, you accepted it without asking questions, which goes to show that your brain is not working properly. Had your brains been working properly, you would say no, that this is my name. After all, you answer Ahamefula. My name should not be lost. By answering Nigeria, you have abandoned your name, you have abandoned your traditions and your heritage. That is what Biafra is here to reverse. Everybody can gang up against us if they wish. But we want to make this victory in such a way that everybody who is a Biafran will worship God forever and ever. Because the delivery of Biafra from bondage, the extrication of the children of the Most High God, Chukwu Abiyama, from that very abominable entity, will indicate to you once and for all that indeed Chukwu Abiama is a Biafran. The world is about to see something they've not seen before. That Biafra must emerge. We must come to exist. We are not going to ask for anything that doesn't belong to us. We are not asking for any territory or resources. All we are asking them to do is to leave us alone. The same way we were before the British came. We have the documentation to prove that we never gave the British the consent to form one Nigeria in the first place. We have the documents. The documents we signed with them was to trade with Royal Niger Company. We never gave them the consent to go and form Nigeria. This is one thing that the so-called band of Nigerian intellectuals never ever bothered to ask themselves, including the Yorubas, Weshonika in particular. Did we give our consent to Lugard to go and form Nigeria? The answer is no, we did not. Where did they derive the authority to go to form that zoo? Why did they hand over to a group of black men that continued the same slavish mentality impacted upon them by their masters? No wonder they are incapable of civilization. They are incapable of human development. Riowanu Lukman, I understand, is here. Is that not correct? Yeah. The son is here, dancing from one nightclub to another, making prostitutes very, very rich on your money. And some of us go to that nightclub to go and clean that nightclub to be able to feed and pay house rent. That money is coming from your land. Riowanu Lukman is here in Austria with money stolen from Biafra. Him and the children are living it large, having fun. In the morning, we will go to the nightclub where the son went to party to go and clean that nightclub that we can get money to feed. Do you now see why I say that there's something wrong with us? Only an animal can allow that to happen. Not a sensible human being. Why do you think everybody revolted in the world? That is a sign of civilization. When you revolt against any oppressive regime or system, that is a sign that you are now matured as a human being, or else you're an animal. You are an animal. When we preach the gospel on Radio Biafra, we tell you the truth. If you have any counter opinion, you present it. People shouldn't look at us and say, oh, you are insulting us. No, I am telling you the fact. The fact that you're a Nigerian means you're an animal. Only an animal can accept a name given. Is that true or false? Then every Nigerian is an animal. We preach the truth here. They don't know what is coming at them. As I will keep reminding them, before we came, nobody could tell you the truth this way. Now that we are here, they can't tell you. We are not here to pamper you and put cream on you. If you have a problem, we cut it out completely. Surgery. Cut out the problem. We don't dress the wound. We cut out the rubbish and throw it away and heal you properly. And you survive. Than nursing an injury or wound that never improves. We are here. Do you know how shameful it is for a grown-up man from Biafra land to abandon the father's compound? I am the first son of my father. My father never abandoned his father's compound, but I did, in order to survive. If something happens to me abroad and I don't go home, what happens to my family lineage? My own branch is closed. Do you know why our land is the way it is? When the white man came, our forefathers never gave them the first son, because the first son is the custodian of our way of life. They always gave them second to the last. Second to the last, almost finished. We gave them all people that came, servants that came. You will be amazed. I don't want to make some people feel bad. Everybody in those days that acquired very high education is not Madiala. Number one. Number two, they are not the first son. Go and check it out. They went abroad and copied rubbish and brought home. That is why you're here today. If Nigeria is working, we will be here today. The fact that we are outside in such large numbers, including those I'm seeing today, means that the zoo is not working. It has not worked for over 50 years. When is it going to work? When? Somebody should tell me. When will it work? They say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. I don't know what is a fool at 50, what it is. Maybe a fool at 50 shouldn't even exist in the first place. You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must
Let us observe 1 minute silence for our foreign heroes, and the count starts now. May the souls of all our heroes past continue to rest in perfect peace why all the living Biafrans will continue to fight until the fully restoration of our land, Biafra. It's a BDF anthem.
All hail Biafra, land of the rising sun. We love and cherish. We have vanquished our enemies. All hail Biafra. God bless Biafra. In Him we trust. Shout it, sing it. All hail Biafra. God bless Biafra. We have emerged triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets pealing, the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. Oh, hail Biafra. We shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes. Our prayer shall be known both day and night. Say them always. All hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, Biafra, shining forever.
Wherever you are watching this program from. This program is presented to you from the United States of Biafra media. I welcome every one of you that have joined on this platform today. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I accept my greetings according to your time zone. Before we proceed on the program of today, I recognize the presence and of our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has laid the foundation on which we are standing today. I also recognize our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku, the one who has given us the structure upon which we are building today. Wherever you are watching this program from, you are welcome. We also welcome the media houses that are watching, hoping to hear from us. Wherever you are joining us from, you are quite welcome. Pay attention and get the information that you need. It is going to be a very important press briefing that is coming from the servant of Biafra. someone who has been given to us by the Deputy Prime Minister to guide us until our Prime Minister joins us. She is the surrogate of our Prime Minister, appointed by the Prime Minister. And today she's stepping in as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra until the Prime Minister joins us, in person of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. You're welcome, Honorable. Go ahead, man, speak to us.
Right. Thank you so much, Chuk Survival. Thank you, Honorable Ugo. And thank you for the media and the Biafrans that are listening. First of all, I thank our leader, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, for paving the way for us to be where we are today. I also use this opportunity to recognize and thank our Prime Minister, His Excellency, Simon Ekpa. I want to use this opportunity also to recognize the United States of Biafra secretaries and cabinet members, the Biafra Defense Forces, and the Biafra Liberation Army. Today, I'm just going to deliver two pronouncements from the United States of Biafra. My name is Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Chief of Staff, Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, acting on behalf of our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, and currently heading the government of the United States of Biafra. I'm going to read the Code of Conduct Rules of Wartime Engagement, United States of Biafra Defense Forces. By virtue of my authority as the Commander-in-Chief of the Biafra Defense Forces, I hereby prescribe the Code of Conduct for members of the Biafra Defense Forces and to all or any other self-defense forces which we adhere to Biafra Defense Forces Code of Conduct, which is attached to this order and hereby made a part thereof. All Biafra Defense Forces are expected to measure up to the standards embodied in this Code of Conduct while in combat, at leisure, or in captivity. To ensure achievement of these standards, members of the Biafra Defense Forces liable to capture shall be provided with specific training and instruction designed to better equip them to counter and withstand all enemy efforts against them, and shall be fully instructed as to the behavior and obligations expected of them during combat, leisure, or captivity. The Code of Conduct provides guidance for the behavior and actions of members of Biafra Defense Forces. This guidance applies not only on the battlefield, but also in the event that the guerrilla fighter is captured and becomes a prisoner of war, PCW. The code is delineated in a few articles. Article 1, I am a Biafran soldier fighting in the forces which want to liberate and guard my homeland and our way of life. I am prepared to give my life in their defense. Article 2, I will never surrender of my own free will. If in command, I will never surrender the members of my command while they still have the means to resist. Article 3, I will fight courageously as if the issue of the success of the war depends solely on me. Article 4, if I am captured, I will continue to resist by all means available. I will make every effort to escape and aid others to escape. I will accept neither parole nor special favors from the enemy. I will remain uncooperative to the best of my ability. Article 5, if I become a prisoner of war, I will keep faith with my fellow prisoners. I will give no information or take part in any action which might be harmful to my comrades. If I am senior, I will take command. If not, I will obey the lawful orders of those appointed over me and will back them up in every way. Article 6, if I become a prisoner of war and questioned in the process, I am required to give my name, rank, service number, and date of birth. I will evade answering further questions to the utmost of my ability. I will make no oral or written statements disloyal to my cause and other self-defense entities or harmful to their cause. Article 7, I will never forget that I am a soldier of the liberation struggle, fighting for my freedom and the freedom of my people, responsible for my every action and dedicated to the principles which has made us formidable, defiant, strong, ready, and able. I will trust in my God and in the protection from my foreparents. Article 8, I will obey all lawful commands and respect all superiors. I will refuse to obey any order which is obviously illegal, immoral, criminal, and not in consonance with the rules of engagement at war times. Article 9, I will undertake my mission with absolute courage and determination and be of assistance to my fellow Biafra Defense Forces soldiers, even at the risk of my own life. Article 10, I will abide by rules governing international humanitarian law as enshrined in the Geneva Conventions. Article 11, I will fight only enemy combatants and attack only military and administrative objectives of the occupier. Article 12, I will not attack or harm enemy personnel who surrender. I will disarm them and treat them as prisoners of war under the rules of engagement in war under the Geneva Convention. Article 13, I will not alter weapons or ammunition for the deliberate purpose of increasing suffering. Article 14, I will collect and care for the wounded, whether friend or foe. Article 15, I will not shoot or accept any other Biafra Defense Force soldier to shoot, maim, torture, or kill a wounded enemy combatant. Article 16, I will treat all civilians humanely. Article 17, I will not attack humanitarian and relief workers, hospitals, and civilian targets, medical personnel, and religious authorities and structures. Article 18, I will not be involved or tolerate in acts of rape, looting, and kidnapping. Article 19. I will respect all cultural objects, monuments, and places of worship. I will respect all persons and objects bearing the Red Cross and the Red Crescent and other recognized symbols of humanitarian agencies. I will respect flag of truce / surrender. Article 20. I will not attack another self-defense force or restoration forces or participate in any plan towards this regard. But if attacked by another self-defense force or restoration force, I will defend myself and my unit valiantly and will treat the attacking force as enemy combatants. Article 21. I understand that disobeying any of these rules or protecting a fellow BDF soldier who has not respected one, more, or all of these rules is a crime. It dishonors Biafra Defense Forces as a responsible guerrilla fighting force, endanger the lives of other BDF soldiers, and make them liable, open to punishment as war criminals. I will therefore report the violation of any of these rules to my superiors. Signed, March 19, 2025, Dr. Ngozi Orobweze, Acting Head of State, Deputy Prime Minister and Commander-in-Chief of the Biafra Defense Forces, on behalf of the Head of State, Prime Minister and Commander-in-Chief of Biafra Defense Forces, Simon Ekpa Njako. The next article that I'm going to read goes thus. United States of Biafra Defense Forces, formerly the Biafran Armed Forces Command Headquarters. Humanitarian Declaration on the Protection of Humanitarian Assistance, Healthcare, and Schools from the Effects of Armed Conflict and Violence, issued by the United States of Biafra Defense Forces. Stressing our commitment to fully comply with our obligations under international humanitarian law, including the Geneva Conventions, their additional protocols, and customary international humanitarian law, international human rights law, including the Convention on the Rights of the Child and its optional protocols, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, and relevant laws in line with international norms and standards. Asserting that the effective protection of humanitarian assistance, healthcare, and schools is achieved through the unconditional commitment to acknowledging their protection status, their protected status during armed conflict and other situations of violence, and their continued importance for the population. Convinced that attacks against humanitarian workers and equipment, healthcare providers and facilities, and the military use of an attack against schools constitute grave violations of the rule of war. Stressing our support for humanitarian assistance, healthcare, and education, and particularly the education and equality of girl children. Recognizing that the deprivation of humanitarian assistance, healthcare, and education of the population of the United States of Biafra is a violation of their fundamental human rights and their protection granted under the rules of war, as well as a hinder in the future development of the homeland. We, members of the Biafra Defense Forces, under the auspices of the United States of Biafra Department of Defense, in line with our internal rules and regulations, including the United States of Biafra Department of Defense Code of Conduct declare that 1. We will strive to strengthen the rules and standards for the protection of humanitarian assistance, healthcare, and schools, and undertake all necessary measures to ensure their implementation. 2. We will ensure that our internal regulations and disciplinary measures clearly address these commitments. We will repress any acts contrary to these commitments, investigate them, and bring any of our members liable for such acts to accountability. We will disseminate and train our fighters on these commitments and the applicable frameworks to it. We commit to prevent military attacks and threats of attacks against humanitarian operators, healthcare facilities, schools, and protected persons in relation to these. Notably, we commit to prevent military attacks and threats of attacks against humanitarian operators. We will respect all medical personnel, units, and transports. We will not attack humanitarian and relief personnel or their objects. We will allow and facilitate their access to civilians in need. We will allow for medical vehicles to transit and access wounded and sick persons, including wounded and sick enemy fighters. We will respect all persons and objects bearing the universally recognized distinctive emblems such as the Red Cross and Red Crescent, as well as the banners of other humanitarian actors such as Doctors Without Borders and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. We will not use schools or educational facilities for military purposes or attack them militarily. We will allow and facilitate access to the United States of Biafra population of specialized independent humanitarian providers where we are in a position to do so, especially for the provision of aid and care to vulnerable population groups such as children, the elderly, and the disabled. We're in a position to do so. We will protect the humanitarian and medical personnel, units, and objects during their transit and access. We call on all concerned parties to cease the attacks and all other forms of abuse or harassment of protected persons and to take measures for their protection and access to humanitarian assistance, health care, and quality education. We call for schools in the conflict-affected rural areas of the United States of Biafra to be reconstructed and provided with quality equipment and culturally sensitive curricula so that students can resume their education, taking into consideration their cultural traits. We call on the relevant United Nations mechanisms and bodies in collaboration with other specialized actors to put the issues of humanitarian assistance, healthcare, and children's safe access to education in the United States of Biafra at the top of their priorities, including finding a monitoring mechanism to ensure the adherence of all concerned parties to the relevant international provisions, and to put in place protection measures for their implementation. We, the undersigned, declare our absolute willingness to cooperate with all concerned parties to ensure the implementation of the provisions of the present declaration and the development of mechanisms that guarantees implementation. This was signed by the Honorable Solomon Nkwocha, the Secretary of Defense, approved by Dr. Ngozi Orubueze, Acting Head of State and Deputy Prime Minister on behalf of the Head of State and Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoku. Finally, the United States of Biafra believes in the command and control structure. Thank you so much for listening to me, and this brings to end this particular reading today. Thank you.